Hello, I'm Sally Rideout, Government Affairs Specialist for the Southwest Indiana Chamber, joined today by Tonda Pauley, candidate for State Representative, and Sherry Sherman, the Executive Director of the Warwick Chamber of Commerce. Tonda, thank you for joining us today. We're always pleased when community members put their name on the ballot and decide to run for office. We very much appreciate your willingness to serve and being with us today. So we'll get started with the questions and answers. So we anticipate a federal record of decision over sometime in the next few months on the final environmental impact study for the I-69 river crossing. But it's currently stalled over the decision of the fate of the tolls on the toll-free preservation of the old Highway 41 existing bridges. Tell us how you can support the I-69 bridge project and how you can help get the community's desired plan of keeping those two existing bridges in place.
I will work with the study group and make this a priority for the people. I will talk to Mindy Peterson, who sits in the head of the study group, and I will ask her to give me the study group's main decision. So I feel like the bridges would be open, and the toll bridge would be at 69. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But we have to split the tolls between Kentucky and Indiana.
Yes, it will not be just Indiana's bridge. It's a bi-state bridge. So thank you.
Okay. All right. Tanya, I think that we had hoped that the federal government would address concerns about business liability for those businesses that were open during the pandemic. And we find now, I think that it's going to fall to the individual states to come up with any funding or dealing with these issues. Many states have already taken action in this area. So what are your views on the issues, specifically what activities or issues should be covered, and how would you plan to play a role in those sponsoring legislative issues to deal with the liabilities for businesses during the pandemic?
The liabilities should rest on our state. And we need to get further monies for the state to help our struggling business, small businesses. And I would work on a committee to get this done.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So we've all seen that the pandemic has put an even greater strain on both state and local budgets. Because the upcoming legislative session is a budget making session, what sort of projects or issues will you be working to protect as our resources are reduced? And where should we be directing any increased resources to move Indiana and our region forward?
The increase would be on teacher pay, the public school systems, and health care around the clinics, the free clinics. We need that because rural people and minorities don't have access to free dental and physical care. That's what we need to work on. And the teachers need to increase in pay. That's what my big bane is. You have the teachers and we have the students who are working at the disadvantage because they don't have Wi-Fi. My son works for the EVSC and he tells me horror stories about how our kids are getting behind in their studies in Southwest Indiana. But I would like to see the budget picture, how they going to divide the money up. But because it's sad the way that things are nowadays. We should formulate a pot of money that would be interested in getting to the poorest to the richest school systems.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Southwest Indiana must increase our overall education attainment for our citizens if we're going to compete successfully on a global economy. Increased high school graduation rates and post-secondary credentials are regional goals. If you could rewrite the education and workforce programs and processes, what changes would you make and what would you do to keep the work or to keep working towards these goals?
I would like to see a mentorship program for our kids. I worked at AIS, both of them, and I saw lacking of school mentors, nurses, counselors, and everything. But we need to concentrate on more technical jobs than normal jobs. We need to be high tech and training our students. That's what I believe. AIS on First Avenue has a CNA program. Yay, AIS. But they got certified for a CNA program. So the kids would graduate and go into the job market.
Those are always kind of ideal things whenever students see a path towards their future. So those are good thoughts. So just finally, kind of wrapping up, would want to make sure that you have an opportunity to talk to us about the issues, the policies, the procedures that you would plan to champion during a term in the Indiana House of Representatives. So this is your chance to tell us your priorities.
I would like to see the teacher pay go up extremely, and health care would be our primary thoughts, and promote job training. There is an Indiana plan that those kids that won't go to college, they would be in that Indiana plan to go to the apprenticeship programs. So they would graduate a journeyman, girls and boys. I would like to build infrastructure, and we have the highest infant mom mortality rate in this country. We're a third in this country. That's not gonna wash. But I would like to work on environmental issues, green jobs, and they're working on a subcommittee right now that's being recycling markets in Indiana and the nature and extent of recycling resources to meet the needs of the state. Sue Arrington is on that subcommittee. She sent me the letter that they sent the minority members of the environmental committee, sent this letter to Brian Bosma, Jill Quinta, Roger Ray, and Tim Lannon, so they can get the backing that they need to get this done.
Well, thank you very much. We've covered a lot of topics and had a good discussion, and heard some good ideas and things that you would like to focus on. So Sherry, unless you have anything else you would like to cover, I think we're pretty close to wrap.
No, thank you very much for your time, Tanya.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies.